Hello, welcome back to the Northwest Chamber of Commerce member interview studio sessions. My name is Emily Winters. I'm the executive director here at the Northwest Chamber. Thank you guys for being patient and waiting for us to come back to this series. The Chamber has been busy with our brand new farmers market every Wednesday at the Hilton Garden Inn in Owings Mills. So now that that's up and running, we're going to get back to these great interview sessions, getting to know our members a little more. Joining me today is one of our members of the board of directors and the assistant vice president of patient experience and subacute operations at Northwest Hospital, Sharon Hendricks. Sharon, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, good morning, Emily and everyone. Thank you for having me. Very much appreciated.
We're excited to have you here today, Sharon. As you know, the Northwest Hospital and the Northwest Chamber of Commerce have a very long standing tradition and relationship together. So we're grateful to have you on board and to have you involved with the Chamber. So thanks for taking the time today.
My pleasure.
We're going to get started asking Sharon a few questions about her career and getting to know a couple other little personal facts. So we'll jump right into it. What is it that first got you into the world of healthcare, Sharon?
So I actually was applying for colleges and wanted to be a physical therapist. So that's really where my journey started. And part of that was once you were in college, you had to volunteer. So I volunteered a couple different times at a local hospital for the physical therapy department. And that's when I realized I didn't like having that patient contact. It was just too much for me. So I had a friend of mine who was already in college for health records administration at the University of Pittsburgh. So her and I connected, and it seemed like a good fit because it was still in healthcare and in a hospital, but it didn't have the patient contact, which is really what I was looking for.
That's interesting. And that's a nice thing to know early on and kind of steer your career in the right direction too.
Now, I wouldn't have known that if we hadn't had the requirement to volunteer.
Right.
So it really made sense to me then that, oh, you volunteer, you start spending time to really see if you like it. It's almost like a job shadow.
Right. That's good. And so important too. I mean, if it's a career that you see yourself doing for a long time, knowing what you do and don't want to do with it, and that's really helpful. Now, what is it that you love most about your field?
So I think what I love most about my field, fast forward 30 some years, is really helping people. You really can't be in healthcare if you aren't there to help patients, families, the frontline staff, whether it be nurses, physicians, or any other team member from our ancillary departments, such as social work, environmental services. You have to really be a people person and want to have that care and compassion to help.
Now, from starting your career there and to where you are now, has there been a favorite moment or something that's really been rewarding that sticks out?
So probably the favorite part of my job is being able to give awards, recognizing staff. That's my absolute favorite. Anytime I can recognize a superstar or just surprise someone and say thank you with flowers or any variety of things. But I do have to say, most recently, in the last month, our subacute unit, which is actually a licensed skilled nursing facility within the hospital, received the U.S. News and World Report award for the second year in a row, which is the highest rating that a skilled nursing facility can get for quality and customer service metrics. And it was such an honor for me to announce, it was a surprise, and announce to my team that we won it for the second year in a row, especially after everything they had been through with COVID.
Yeah.
And to still have those quality results and to see the expressions on their face. And then as a token of appreciation, we gave them cool sweat jackets with their unit on it and the U.S. News and World Report logo. And just to see them wear them now is really one of my favorite things I would probably say in the last 12 months that have happened.
That's incredible. And what an honor and a recognition and a little bit of pride in your step too. I mean, during that time, it's stuff that we could do for the whole staff, give them flowers and appreciation and thank them for their hard work, but to be recognized like that, what a great honor to have.
Mhm.
Now, what about any interesting experiences that have happened over the years? Any things that have taken, I'm sure you see it all, but anything that have really just jumped out or still stand out?
Working in a hospital, you see everything and anything,
Right.
without a doubt. I will say that maybe what's most interesting, since the pandemic started, really to watch us evolve as a healthcare team over the last, well, it's been more than a year, really. During the pandemic, at the beginning, we were following regulatory guidance and still are. But it was happening so quickly. We were getting information day by day, and we had to adapt very quickly, really to protect our patients and our staff. And then the new normal, we talk about the new normal out in the world with restaurants and the grocery stores, but the new normal within the hospital when this started happening was we had to figure out a way to connect with families and connect patients with their families without them coming into the hospital. We had to shut down to all visitors, all vendors, and we had to make sure that family members were connected to their loved ones. And especially as we really had a lot of ill patients at the very beginning, as you probably know when you followed the COVID death tolls, it was really quite something. So
Right.
we did a lot of FaceTime calls because a lot of our patients didn't have smartphones, or if they had a smartphone, they didn't necessarily know how to do a FaceTime call, because their grandchildren would help them with such a thing when they were outside the hospital. So it was really an interesting time, and we're still living it. But as we've started to open up more and allow at least a visitor in per patient, it's really helped with that connection because the patients need their family and their loved ones around them as they're getting better.
Mhm. And in the hospital, too, I mean, you always want to provide that comfort and get to that healing process, but really being able to just be there on that personal level and help create those connections for people, that's really important. And I'm sure, that's something that they'll always be grateful for too.
Mhm.
That's great. Now, how about a favorite word in your vocabulary? I know you've got a great team there and you guys have been through a lot, but is there anything that, a phrase or a word that you guys like to live by or work by that you like to share?
So at Lifebridge, our tagline is Care Bravely. So we use that very frequently and as we thank people. But I would have to say, probably, which is tied into Care Bravely, and really the recognition piece that I love so much is gratefulness. That's something that I use both at home and at work, because if you can pull out a grateful moment, sometimes when it's one of the days that's just been really tough, with patients and even your colleagues, if you can find at least one thing to be grateful for, then it was a good day. And I also share that with my children at home. Something that we do at dinner is we go around the table and we say, okay, what were you grateful for today? And it's really caused everyone to think about their day. And at the beginning, my children, kind of laughed, made fun of me when I said it. And I said, no, we're really going to do this, because it makes you find the good in what's happened. So I think grateful has truly become my favorite word.
It's a good way to live, and it's important, because it's applicable to everyone. Everyone can find one thing to be grateful for, and that it makes the biggest difference in your day and in your life. That's a great answer. I love that. Now, how about any sounds or noises that you enjoy? I'm sure at the hospital things can get loud, or just, you're always in thinking and moving forward. How about music or conversations or anything that you like to listen to either relax or keep you going?
So the one sound that I absolutely love is the sound of the ocean waves. I love the beach. So there's nothing like hearing the ocean waves just to relax you and really pretend that you're there, even sometimes when you're not.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, definitely a calming one too. Brings that tranquility to your needed that you really need during the day sometimes. Now, some of our favorite questions we do save for the end, and getting to know you a little better. But what profession, if there is one, other than your own, would you like to have attempted at some point, or would still like to attempt at some point?
Let's see. So what I'm hoping to attempt at some point, I keep saying it's going to be my retirement job, is to be a dog walker. I've always had rescue dogs, and our dog walker in the neighborhood is probably famous. And I said they're the most in shape person and most stress-free person as they walk the dogs around the neighborhood. So that's my dream when I retire, to become the neighborhood dog walker when people are away. Although I do have to share with you, back in my younger days, my dream job was the person at Ocean City that rents the umbrellas and chairs at the beach, because I love the beach. I love the sun. I don't want to be a lifeguard because that's too hard.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, that was definitely my dream job, to have that nice environment, look at the ocean, and be able to help people.
That's a great job. I love the dog walker. That's great. I mean, what a great way to de-stress in retirement is to be with dogs and all that. But then also with the beach job, those people get there earlier than everyone. So it's probably the most calm in the morning because no one's down there yet, and you watch everyone start their day. And that's a great one. I like that answer. Now, the last and probably most important question we ask here on this series is, what is the one business lesson that you wish you would have known prior to starting your career?
So that's probably a tough one. So two things come to mind. The first one is really just to listen and pay attention, whether it's in any discussion, in any meeting. Now, obviously, when I would talk to patients or families, but listen is really key, because you can pick up so much from not only what people say, but just from their tone of voice. And if you're face to face with them, or even on Zoom like we are today, looking at their body language. Because oftentimes it's not what they say, but how they say it. So if you're really actively listening, you may identify something very different. And then the second thing that I really wish someone would have told me a long time ago is to really take time and smell the flowers or smell the roses, but not only say, do this, but it's okay to do this. Because especially in healthcare and over the last year, we always had crazy schedules before this, but the last year was pretty intense because I had a clinical unit, as I mentioned. So there were times when we were pretty much living here 7 days a week. And I wish someone would have said, sometimes you're better if you really take that time and smell the flowers, that it's okay. And anybody starting their career, I probably would share both of those two items, because I think it would be very valuable if someone would have shared both of those, back in my younger days.
Those are great pieces of advice. And you have a lot to speak on with that. It's important to everyone. I'm sure everyone could take away from that and help mold their career over the years. So thank you for imparting some wisdom with us today, Sharon. I appreciate it. Thank you for all that you guys do at the hospital. Please extend our thanks and appreciation to your team. I know you guys have been working tirelessly, and it's great to see you on Zoom and great to get to know you a little better today.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity and really partnering with Northwest and with Lifebridge. We certainly appreciate it, as we're the community hospital for the Northwest Chamber members. So I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Members, make sure to give anyone at the Northwest Hospital your thanks and your appreciation. Let them know in the community we are here for them. Sharon, I appreciate you joining us today, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you sometime soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.